Good morning. Good morning.
What am I going to do? I have all of these responsibilities, all this going on, and it seems like I'm doing everything I can for you. Everything is just going opposite. Anybody ever been there where it seems like you were doing all you need to do, and still you took 2 steps forward and you took 5 steps back, and you're saying, God, what in the world is going on? I was sitting in my kitchen and I didn't understand it. And then these words came. I said, Lord, you are good. You've been so good. Lord, you are good. You've been better than good. I can't praise you enough. Oh, you, my life, can't praise you enough. Even if I try, 'cause you've been so good. Lift your voice. Come on, tell them today. So good to me. Let's go right here, everybody. You are good. You've been so good. Come on, say, Lord, you are good. You are good. You've been better than good. I can't praise you. It's because I owe you, Jesus. I owe you my life. Can't praise you enough. Somebody say, even if I try, it wouldn't work. So good to me. Hallelujah to your name, God. Come on, lift up those voices and declare today.
How many know that he's good?
Somebody say, even if I try, it wouldn't work because. Come on and lift up your voices. Somebody declare, even if I somebody raise up your voice tonight.
Good morning.
How's he getting better than good to anybody? So many girls, so many ways, so many times. Tell somebody you're better than good to me. So many girls, so many ways, so many times. You've been better, you've been better. So many girls.
Good morning. Good morning. How many honestly can say he's been so good? How many honestly can say he's been so good?
I was sitting over the dishes with tears in my eyes. And I heard you declare out of the hard place that you're still getting better. I can never repay you, Lord. I can never repay you, Lord. I can never repay you, Lord.
Good morning. Good morning. Boy, this song about to take me in this morning. When I think about how good he's been and how awesome he is, and this always get me right here in spite of. That's the part that gets me in spite of. And I am grateful unto the Lord in spite of me. I'm grateful unto the Lord. Man, so many other people were counting you out. So many people dismiss you. But because of who he is in your life, he make ways. And I am grateful unto the Lord this morning. I'm grateful that he allowed us to get through a week of Kickstart. This has been a fabulous week, and I'm grateful for this week dealing with the subject matter of grief. And I tell you this, I may carry over to next week because uh, looking at this subject matter, you never realize how much information and how heavy it is. And I had so many people yesterday, and this is facts, reached out to me directly and sharing how this grief is helping, especially in relationships. Which it was crazy because a lot of times I never knew that we can be grieving in a relationship, and it can tend to us to become someone we're not. And so yesterday, as I was thinking, I said, man, one of the greatest things I think that we can talk about, even with great grief, uh, I think that we need to talk about how grief leads to bad behavior. Grief can lead to bad behavior. And I want you guys to hear that and catch that in your spirit. How grief can lead to bad behavior when you're not trying to deal or cope with your problems or your matters. It can lead to bad behavior. And I looked at it especially in relationships. Um, when you're hiding something, then you're trying to move forward. You're trying to press, and you're trying to escape the troubles or the difficulties that or the uncertainty that you've been going through. And we as people, we tend to focus so much on the problem that and not a good solution. And when you're not focusing on a good solution, then that making you to become something or someone that you're not. And I believe that when you're grieving in your heart, you tend to do things at the moment because of bad decision making of your pain. Your pain have taken complete rule and control over your life, and you tend to do things at that moment that you will regret later. And when I look at this grief and I look at this and most people that's fighting grief, hiding grief, or challenged by grief or with grief, you are trying to find every way possible not to uh, challenge it head on. And you absolutely right. A lot of you guys saying this point that anger stepped in. And let me tell you what the Bible said. The Bible said it's okay to be angry. but don't allow the anger to overtake your spirit. And you become emotionally distraught, you become angry, you become irritable, but then also you start doing things that is more satisfying to your flesh than it is your spirit man. And I've saw this that some people that when they go through a bad divorce or a bad breakup, they get bad counsel and they tend to lose control over their bodies. And that's so honestly true. And so what happens is when you lose control over your body, you tend to allow your body to be entertained by any and everything that's not conducive to your spirit man. Let me say it again. You allow your body to be you allow yourself to be entertained by things of the flesh, things that's not conducive to your spirit man. And so now it's almost like you have an open door policy because it's the moment that you're looking for satisfaction. It's that moment you're looking for a temporary fix. It's that moment you're looking for to take ease this pain away. And so I've learned this, and can I be frank with you guys this morning? Without offending you, can I really just hit you really good? I've learned that when most people go through, some people, let's say this, go through a bad breakup, a bad divorce, or a separation, instead of us taking time to heal, instead of us taking time to recover, instead of us taking time to be rejuvenated, uh, instead of us taking time to find strategy for reconciliation, and I gotta say this because it's facts, but many of us become trisexual. You know, you're not going homosexual, you're not going heterosexual, but you move into trisexual. And when you move from homosexual to heterosexual, sexual to trisexual, trisexual just simply means I'm trying anything sexually that will fulfill my pain in my flesh, that will help me to overcome the struggles that I'm going through. You try anything that you feel that is a bonus in your life, anything that you feel is a fulfillment, that's what you're going after. And then the hurtful part about this is when you're grieving so hard and you're making these bad decisions or you are leading you to bad behavior, you feel bad and you live with regrets and you allow anything to enter into your mind. You allow the words, any word to come into your mind. And at this point, it doesn't matter where it come from or who it come from, because you are fragile, you are vulnerable, and you have not faced the loss. And so because you have been going through these elements for years now keep in mind, I learned this, that some grief that we're dealing with is not something that's current, but some grief that we're dealing with is something that's concurrent. It's stuff that didn't happen years ago, and you keep having these same experiences because you have not dealt with it at the origin of the problem. And so now you keep using the previous person as the escape goal, not knowing that it's you that has departmentalized. all that you have to deal with. And when you departmentalize it, you don't know how to separate. You don't know how to crush it. You don't know how to filter it. And so now it becomes heavyweight for you. Now it becomes a, a conflict of interest between your flesh and your spirit, man. And let me put this out here. This doesn't mean that this is your true identity. This doesn't mean that you are a bad individual. This doesn't mean that this is what you always been on. It's just that you have found an coping mechanism or an escape goal to the pain and hurt that you're dealing with. And you thinking that that is the solution for your problem. But truth be told, you adding more pain. You adding more complications. Excuse me. So when you have not fully pointed or identified the problem that you are facing, it leads you to a certain level of behavior just to make you feel good at the moment. Don't turn a temporary inconvenience into a permanent matter. Because what we go through in grief, now understand this, grief suggests mentally, emotionally, physically. Grief have many facets of it. And even when you start working on your wholeness, even when you start working on your healing, you're still going to have moments of not so many good days. You're still going to have moments when you feel as though things are not working for your good. You're going to have those moments. But it's a difference in having those moments of things not working so good versus you're turning something out bigger or larger than what it really is. And then I learned this, that this problem that you're facing, we can't keep overlooking that it exists. Mm. We can't keep overlooking that there is a matter going on. We can't keep thinking that we're going to be fine when you have not made no type of effort in the world to better your life. And then always remember this, and I want you guys to catch this. Check your inventory. Check who you are connected to in the place of your process of healing. Because the last thing you want is to be connected or rubbing shoulders with someone who is doing the same thing you are doing, or who need more healing than you need, or someone who's not willing to hold you accountable and enticing you or encouraging you or motivating you to do as they doing. Some people don't care about their process of healing. Some people don't care about the growth of healing. Some people, it just they are content in being in the matter that they are in. Some people will talk about everybody else, everything else, but never look for a place of aid for themselves. I'm being honest when I said this. And so when you're grieving, when you are grieving that leading to bad behavior, you got to watch what you do. You got to monitor your tongue. You got to be careful, because here it is. Grief can lead you to self-destructive thoughts or behaviors. It can. And this is the part that, like, it moves you to a place of intense uh hopeless feeling. I know some people that's so negative. They're negative about everything under the sun. No matter what, they always have something negative to talk about. They always have something negative to say. I don't care what atmosphere, what culture they're in, what environment they are in. They always got something negative to say about somebody or something. It's never nothing of good tidings. It's always something negative. And they don't realize that they're bringing more self-harm to themselves. Or, watch this, they have the desire to join what they lost. They may not say it out of their mouth verbatim, but they got complications on being great. And you'll be surprised because I think Sharon put exactly, misery doesn't need more company, but misery search for company. And misery finds company. And so here it is. Not only does grief leads to bad behavior sexually, it can lead to bad behavior in drugs, alcoholism, anything that can cause an addiction that would take full control of your body. Yeah, we got to be careful of these addictions. We got to be careful when we start becoming numb of something. You do things, and the reason why we have these things that comes in our life is because we got to find ways to numb the pain. Many of us been to the dentist, many of us had surgery, and before we're able to have surgery, they bring in the anesthesiologist. Dentists, they just stick us with a needle to numb so they can do the dental work. When we have surgery, they bring in the anesthesiologist to numb our body, to put us to sleep so we don't feel the pain that's going on. And many of us have become our very own anesthesiologists. We find ways to numb the pain and don't want to face or cope with it. That's why our turnover rate is what it is, because we're not identifying the problem. We're not looking at the problem. We're not trying to figure out solutions. We're not trying to get over this hump, because at this moment we're content, we're comfortable, we're complacent. But moment you get challenged, moment you feel as though somebody calling you out, holding you, now you feel as though that they don't mean you no well. Well, can I be honest? The person who don't mean you well is the person who asked you on to have this such behavior. They don't care about your life. That's why in a season of healing, you got to be careful who you call sister, brother, sis, bro, queen, king. You got to be careful, because you allowing yourself to be open to things that can possibly destroy you. You gain excessive weight, you lose weight, no appetite. You drink so much, you start smoking weed so much, you start using drugs, you start being more promiscuous. You do everything under, that's not you. You stressing, you're depressed. Don't you know spirits transfer? Spirits transfer. Don't like to take accountability on that part that we play, so it's just easy not to Man, and I'm gonna say this. I'm glad you said that, Andrea. You're right. But we got to realize how it's destroying our life, how it's pushing us backwards. And in this instance, it's not being hard on yourself. It's just simply about correcting yourself. Yeah, weed is used medically, but not for entertainment purposes. Entertainment purposes, some of us use it to get us in a nice high. I know it's used medically for pain and for glaucoma and all that stuff, but many of us use it for entertainment purposes. But here we got to find ways and know that, hey, I'm hurting, I'm struggling. I need to go get some help. I need to go to the rock of my salvation. Stop using a substitution of things that you can reach out to that cause addiction versus number one, counseling, number two, prayer, reading the word. It's so many other ways that you can overcome this. And I'm be honest, I never really looked at grief in the way that I've been looking at it for this week until I started reading up on it. And I'm like, wow. Because believe it or not, I have identified myself in a lot of what I've been through. I have. And the crazy part is, let me share this. There is no substitution for what you lost on what you believe God has blessed you with. I'm going to say it again. There is no substitution on what you lost on what you believe God has blessed you with. Three things in life you never get back: word, times, and opportunities. And some of us have so many missed opportunities because we still grieving something that we should have let go 10, 15, 20 years ago. We thinking everything that we encounter is like the old. Every sign that we see, every sign that we see of the old in the present, we thinking the old is trying to catch up to our present. We embrace ourselves. We become too analytical. We try to dissect everything. We try to be so detailed. And honestly, you wearing yourself out. Just because there's same signs don't mean it's going to be same results or same outcome. There's going to be similarity in all that we do. But don't shortchange yourself with a mindset that everything is going to remain the same or end the same. One of my biggest Achilles heel, what I used to do, and I'm being honest, when I used to see a period of hurt, I used to try to get my lick before it hit me. In my life, I've been hurt as a kid. Every woman that I felt that told me that they loved me left me somewhere or another. So I started living life like I'm gonna make certain I get my lick before you leave me. I'm gonna get I'm tired of this pain, and I didn't know that there was a form of grief. I didn't know. I did not know that it was a form of grief. Seriously. And so you're working, you try to fight through matters when you don't know. You don't know. And so I'm gonna get out here because I think we're gonna pick this back up Tuesday. Monday we're gonna pray. Then we're gonna pick this thing back up Tuesday because I think grief needs more time because there's many other facets of grief. But I wanted to talk about how grief can lead to bad behavior. I've seen it happen, and I'm not telling you from what I saw in somebody else. I'm talking about in myself, and the reason why I use myself because I know what I've been delivered from. I know what the Lord healed me from. I know and at the time, remember now, I didn't know what we called it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know that was it. In essence, I wasn't fit to live, wasn't ready to die. But in my same token, I'm thinking I'm living my best life. And the whole time, I'm not living my best life. All right. Some of you in relations or connected to people right now, not because you love them or care or enjoy, but it's to hide your pain. Some of you been forced to be connected with people because this is your coping mechanism. And I'm going to say this, find a better way to cope. Listen, today is Sow Seed Friday. Today is Sow Seed Friday. Sow Seed. I love you guys. If you guys, listen, Harvest, don't forget, no service this Sunday. We are having combined service at 11 a.m. We are having combined service at 11 a.m. So there will be no 10 a.m. service. For those that watch via live, we'll make certain that we go live for you guys. We'll make certain that we go live. We'll go live for you guys. All right. I love you guys with the love of the Lord. There's nothing you can do about it. Pray for me. Tomorrow is my brother's funeral. Got to be there in support. It's going to be a difficult day for all of us. So pray for us. All right. I hope to see you tomorrow, Sister Glenda. I hope to see you tomorrow. All right. Love you guys with the love of the Lord. Nothing you can do about it. Have a fantastic week. God bless you guys.